As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. Or gangster, Nick. Welcome to the Final Cut Half Cut with me, Jason Winter, and my good mate.
And I'm Nick.
You
and
are Nick.
I've realised I need to talk louder.
Be louder. Just get closer, mate, I reckon. There we go.
Louder,
yeah.
do.
Maybe you can hold. Maybe should we hold it like MCs today?
I'm not going to hold a thing with 3 legs.
Do you want to be the P Diddy to my notorious B.I.G.?
So I want to be the sellout hack.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
No.
Yes.
I'm the mate. You know, if you can be the main guy, you can be B.I.G. if you want.
I just don't want to be Diddy. No one wants to be Diddy.
I want Diddy
I like
Dollar.
Diddy.
Have you ever heard of his parties? Talking of gangsters.
Yeah, it's like all white parties.
Penguins and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, mental.
Hmm.
So welcome, mate. Today we are covering the Gangster movie and gangsters, life versus art. Gangsters, motherfucking gangsters up in here. We can swear. We've done the drugs, haven't we? Just before smuggled the money and the children.
Yes.
No, wait, that gangsters don't do that sort of thing.
It depends on
Depends.
how scary they are.
Yeah, what sort of gangsters?
Like, it's not your friendly neighbour, the gangsters.
Yeah.
Who are smuggling, child trafficking.
Exactly.
And they're not respected, I don't think.
No, I don't. I mean, so the reason why I wanted to bring this up is obviously the main point is like the glorification of the idea of the gangster. Your Al Capones, your bloody Cray twins, yeah, the people like that that become folklore heroes, like almost larger than life folkloric characters. They're not. We don't really think of Al Capone as a man, but more of like this character in history. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, to set the scene, I'm currently looking at more books I've ever read
Yeah.
about all about gangsters, and Jason is wearing a turtleneck.
Do
And
you like
he
my
looks
turtleneck?
like turtlenecks aren't really my thing.
No, but I wouldn't. That hat wouldn't go with this turtleneck. Do you know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
opposites attract, Nick.
Well, this
alright?
hat doesn't really go with me, to be perfectly honest.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, but
fine.
it's just like I can wear hats now. And
Yeah.
I'm very insecure about my hairline. So.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Same here, mate. Same here. First podcast we're doing in my 30s. I've reached 30 without losing all my hair. So this is an achievement, mate. If I get to 40 and I ain't got no hair transplants will be like 300 quid then.
I think they're 300 quid now. I think they're
like
expensive.
they're like about $1.5 grand.
Someone's
But they're still
been researching
relatively.
it.
Yeah, I know someone that had one, and I think that's what he paid. And I just think they even do beard transplants now.
To be honest, I feel like if you need a hair transplant, fucking do it, man. Like, self-confidence is important.
Exactly. If you want to be confident,
We ain't
yourself-
judging here.
Yeah, we ain't judging.
As two people who will probably get hair transplants
Yeah.
in the next 10 years, so
Like,
we're not
I'll
judging.
buy it for you as a present if it bothers you. Like that. Here you go. Right.
That'd be a terrible present to get without asking for it.
True.
Just
yeah. Yeah. Ooh. I didn't know. I thought.
I didn't know I
fine.
needed this.
Yeah.
This is- my eyes have been opened.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
Did you get any good Christmas presents this year, mate?
No, well, I don't want to say no because that sounds like
You mean like
I found in Kevin. I got basics. That's all,
Yeah.
which is what I need.
Yeah.
Because if I don't look after myself, I need someone to just buy me socks. Because I'm not going to buy myself socks.
No, I'm the
That's
same.
what birthdays are for.
I've got a lot of toiletries. I have enough toiletries to last another 12 months, so I think I'll be fine. I did get, for my 30th birthday, a very cool present from my girlfriend, which was a signed copy of the Matrix script. It's not an original, but it's still fucking really cool.
I'd be
to look
shocked
at.
if it was the original.
I mean,
That'd be
that'd be
millions.
like a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah.
So
How was your Christmas? I didn't ask.
Oh, sorry. My Christmas was good. I have mastered every roast dinner. I've cooked roast beef, roast chicken. Didn't do turkey actually because I think turkey is artificially overpriced when you can basically just have chicken and go with it. Or vegan options are available. If you want to sponsor us from a vegan meat company, do it. Or it's cool beer I'm drinking called Beekeeper. Hashtag Beekeeper.
Hashtag Beekeeper. Formerly known as.
Formerly known something else that I can't talk about for legal
reasons. We can't bring it up.
Yeah. So that's what I've been dealing with, mate, over Christmas. Just thinking about what my legal future is for my main business. So that's been really fun.
Yeah, we have like quite interesting shifts in what we do in our lives. Like you're constantly dealing with like a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Like
And you're doing
your life involves lawyers.
Yeah.
Quite commonly, and my life involves.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, I don't need a shower again.
Well, there was a bit of news. What do you think of Oscar Isaacs as Solid Snake.
Well, we've
Did we discuss this
I
already?
mentioned it, but also
Right.
I can talk about this for a while. I like Oscar
Don't.
Isaac, but I feel like you cannot do Metal Gear Solid justice at all.
Okay.
In film.
Oh yeah, you
film.
said because there's
But
9
also,
hours of cut
I
sequences
also
from
play
the first game.
because I play Metal Gear Solid a lot.
What if they made it like a massive Game of Thrones season thing? What if they did that?
So here's the thing about Metal
Scale
Gear.
or
Metal
like
Gear
that.
is such a weird franchise where like
It wouldn't work.
it wouldn't work because there is in game they go, Snake, he's reading your memory card. You should switch controller ports so we can't think. It's like it breaks
So
the
it'd have-
fourth wall constantly.
Right.
Like I don't know how you could make this into a workable franchise. It is so bizarre and inherently weird that like the first boss in Metal Gear Solid 3 is a man who can control bees, and he's probably
Is it me?
Yeah,
Oh.
and he's probably the most normal boss in that game.
Right.
It only gets weirder. So
it
it's
sounds like yeah.
if you made this into a film, you have to strip it from what makes Metal Gear, and I'm not looking forward to it.
I see. Okay. Yeah, video game adaptations to films, not cool. I mean, there's that Assassin's Creed has been announced as well, isn't it?
Well, there already was. That was
There
done
already
for-
was one, wasn't there?
Yeah,
That's
Mark
why I was like,
Fassbender.
why is this a fucking what's
Yeah, it was
this about?
shit as well.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about.
There's only been one good video game adaptation. That was Silent Hill, and
E.T.
even then, that was okay.
Yeah. Right. Enough of that.
Yeah, it's
There's
not
no
the best we
news
don't talk
either.
about
If you can't tell, there's still coronavirus. There's no fucking film news. Warner Brothers continue to be wankers. Wonder Woman's crap apparently. That's about it. So there you
Yeah, I
go.
heard there's like some weird borderline sexual assault in that film.
Is there?
Yeah, apparently she puts her dead lover into someone else's body and has sex with it, and then so the person
Is this what happens, or is this just what you want to happen?
It might be both.
Yeah, I want Gal Gadot to fuck me well.
No, but from the sounds of it, she transfers. He's a guy in Star Trek. He's Captain Kirk.
Yeah, Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Belen.
She puts his
I
soul.
mean, I don't actually. Sorry, I keep doing the thing. Last week I was very derogatory about a lot of people. I don't know the geezer, so
yeah,
I'm not a
Chris Pine's
Pine
interesting,
head.
but
He's
she
fine.
puts his soul, his character's soul, into someone else,
Right,
and they make love,
right,
and like
splendid.
yeah, and it's like that's rape.
Wait, did you watch just that bit of the film?
Oh, no, this is just what I've heard.
Oh, right.
This has been this isn't something like people have been complaining about this on the
Okay.
internet. It's like there is a sexual assault scene by your superhero.
Right, if that sounds if you
I definitely don't have all the facts, but
I
like,
don't
there
have
is
any
something
facts,
to
mate.
that effect in that film, and people were like, "Why you put that in?
yeah.
Just have them talk."
I just think I don't know what to say to that. I just think okay. Apparently it's rubbish, but somehow it got commissioned for a third film based on the first weekend's figures.
Well, it doesn't have to be bad because it doesn't have to be good. It's like DC. They gave Superman a sequel, Batman, and that.
Oh yeah,
was shit.
100%. It's all crap. Okay. Right, there's no more news. The real reason why I brought up Gangsters this week, apart from it being a rich genre of film stuff, because film started about moving pictures with sound. I think it was 1928. Anyway.
I know. When did Birth of a Nation come out?
Oh,
D.W. Griffin.
Oh, you'll bet. Oh, he's got more.
No,
He's
that
got
wasn't
more
the
knowledge.
first one. That was the first editing.
I didn't realise we were
Cool.
going to war, Nick. You dropping all your fucking knowledge bombs up in
Yeah,
here.
I
Jesus
don't think that
Christ.
was the first film. But
No,
that was the first
you were
editing
correct.
film.
That rings a bell. That is
No,
like
that was the first
something
one that
I
had
should
like
know.
proper editing where they like go
Oh,
and
yeah.
change things properly. Yeah, I don't know what the first one, but it's like that was.
That's around that time.
Yeah.
And the
I
reason
know.
why I like to bring up Gangsters is to this day, and also from the very beginning of film, gangsters have been a massive genre, and arguably, like I find it quite interesting that obviously the period of time in the 30s when they were making the first Hollywood films, obviously Al Capone and the real life gangsters were legit. Same as you have with the Krays in the 80s and the 90s, and Bronson with Tom Hardy. And then I want to talk a little bit about the idea of the folkloric characters of gangsters and how now Hollywood it's become such a pinnacle of Hollywood to tell the story of the gangster. Obviously, Scorsese massively influential in making those films, auteur films, as well as Francis Ford Coppola's Godfather, is the sense that like De Niro, Tom Hardy, and stuff, they've all played Al Capone, and it's like characters like Al Capone or these mob boss characters become like, if you can convey the pinnacle of toxic masculine aggression and all this, if you can master those interpretations, then you are best actor. You know, you get the Oscar. Yeah, that's what we see now as the hierarchy of like characters. You've got probably only in Britain the only bigger one than that is like Churchill when you're playing a political great. It's like I don't know what you think, or if you think anything, if you care about it at all. But I was just thinking,
what if I just said no?
Yeah, no.
I'm no interested in
Gangster's
this.
pinnacle of Hollywood, like achievement in acting. No,
Well,
I don't agree.
I think
I think that is generally considered. Like,
no, it was
as
like
a
you give a
cultural
point
thing.
where it's like if you look at generally regard the top 10 films of all time.
Yeah.
There are like in terms of genre, like there's a few gangster films in it. It's like The Godfather, Goodfellas, Scarface. Even those people will say, "Oh, Scarface is a classic." It's not a classic.
I think Al Pacino's
Eating the
accent
scenery
in that is pretty off.
No, but it's like gangster films.
He's like gargling the whole way.
Yeah, there's definitely something in his throat. But it's like gangster films have got like a
fucking green card, man.
there's like a respectability. There's like an aura of like classiness about them.
Mm.
But like there's like when I picture like a gangster film, I picture like these like proper like, oh shit, these are film films.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
which most genres don't really have.
No.
But gangster films they're kind of like on a different, where it's like you can do things with different genres, but it's like gangster film was like, no, you do it's proper like dead on straight.
Yeah.
You can't really deviate. You're trying to make this respectable and classic.
Yeah, I think one of the important other elements in the gangster film is trust and betrayal.
Yeah.
Is this universal theme of what it is to be masculine and what it is to have a family. So when an organisation works and they're all based on their personalities, you know, that's when it operates fine. It's when Joe Pesci gets fucking pissed off with someone personally that then it all affects the business, the operation. And that's what
the moment he kills Billy Bats.
Yeah, and very good memory.
Yeah.
So yeah, the main reason why I wanted to bring this up today, apart from the sort of central idea of it being so important in the Hollywood like system, if you like, I can't remember a time where from beginning to now, the gangster film is still massive. It's still such an important genre to Hollywood. We've only just had The Irishman. Based on that book you might see there, Nick. I heard you paint houses.
I think that is what I was trying to get at, is where it's like...
Got the book, mate.
Yeah. I think that's what when I said like they're respectable, it's like gangster films have always been a elite sort of genre of Hollywood, where a lot of other films like they'll kind of drift out like genres. Gangster films have always been the top.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Genre.
I also think that what do you think? I assume, like me, you were like 14, 15, and then you started to see these films, and their portrayal and glorification of like drugs and violence, along with listening to Dr. Dre when you're like 14, be like, oh Snoop. Like the gangster idea has become integral to what men think they have to behave like. Like look at me. Why would I own all this shit? You can't see this, listener, but I'm literally in a turtleneck and blazer when there's no reason that no shops are open. What's the point, mate?
Well,
has it affected you as adversely as it's affected
I actually
me?
Saw Goodfellas when I was 8.
Fucking hell!
Yeah, my dad did not give a shit.
No.
But I'd say
I hope that was just the pizza.
Yeah, you know this. But I'd say my first real introduction to again I talk about video games a lot.
Yeah.
Was for me gangster was Vice City.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
But you can put that as like gangster films are like integral to a lot of genres. Like The Sopranos is one of the best TV shows I've made. What's it about? Gangsters.
And the
it's
family,
like, The Wire, what's that about? Crime, gangsters, it's all about that stuff. Like as a society we've got like an obsession with like crime.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
I think it's because that is, for a lot of us, especially you and me, like we're law abiding citizens.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. But we always want to like, oh,
What if?
what if?
Yeah.
What if?
I
Whereas,
think
like,
it's a glorified. It's like a modern day cowboy. It's the guy that can
it's
come
Robin
in.
Hood. Like
Yeah,
Robin
it's
Hood.
Robin. They can
You
come
go
in,
against the law.
do
fight
whatever the
police.
fuck you want against the system. You turn around. You're charismatic. Also, it's the fashion, right? It's
Yeah.
the fashion, the confidence, the entire idea that like literally they've got big dick energy. Like it's not just a big dick. It's a fucking AK-47 as well. And
Yeah.
I'll stab your fucking family or kidnap them or whatever. And that kind of like aggressive out being an alpha in society, and but also at once because you're alpha personally, but you're always under the radar and the underdog in terms of the system. And so I think that makes for a very charismatic, like it's like the people that fall in love with serial killers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's this psychological trigger of like this is bad, so therefore I think it's good. It's the bad boy appeal. Do you know what I mean?
It's like I can change them.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Or they just fucking love it.
Yeah. Well, also I suppose it's because there is a general like no one likes the government. Everyone hates the government.
Well, the majority of working class people.
If you're working class, you should hate the government.
Yeah.
But it's like.
I wasn't going to get
political. It's like anti-establishment. Everyone. If you're anti-establishment, you're probably cool. Like the cool kid was always smoking, like when they shouldn't have been smoking.
Yeah.
It's just cool because you're like, oh fuck, you're not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
And it's just like a natural progression to that. It's like you're breaking the law. You don't give a fuck. You're a cool guy.
Yeah.
It might go a bit far, but you were a cool guy until you did a drive-by. But it's like it's one of those things. Like people naturally go towards presence.
Yeah.
Like most, like Tony Soprano, you know when
that's
he's
a
in
good
a room.
point. The presence of a man.
There's
Yeah.
charisma.
Yeah.
It's difficult to be mob boss and have no charisma and no presence.
Quite interesting to note the gangster genre, pretty much completely male. Like there's never been a gangster film, and this would be interesting. I'm pretty sure a gangster film. There's been heist films, and they've done it. But I think a female-led gangster film, like a mafia boss that's a woman.
I am trying to think of a
There's not
proper crime film. I know there's a few.
There can't be. Like there's nothing that.
No, I think there must have been purely because someone is like, what could
Yeah,
do this for a
somewhat,
woman?
but
no
to the
big ones. There's
extent
nothing
where
popular.
it could be mainstream, and if I'd know about it, it would have been popular. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know a lot of niche. That's why we're doing the gangster movie, because it's one of the most obvious things. So just quickly,
You say it's not niche, but you're talking about shit. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
No, true. So during this whole COVID Christmas, classic me watching shitloads of documentaries, Nick.
Yeah.
But this time around, pretty gangster fucking documentaries. Particularly, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is Operation Odessa. Operation Odessa was a real FBI sting around 3 guys that were based in Miami. They basically would be the importers and distributors for Pablo Escobar for most of the cocaine in the US. Also, 90% of the cocaine going to Europe. They go over to Russia during the early 90s to mid 90s, and they buy helicopters, they buy planes, and they even tried to buy a fucking submarine. And so they literally put these helicopters, 4 helicopters, in this giant plane, bigger than a 747, flew it from Russia to fucking Colombia. So you're talking, they've now got in their pockets the Russian mafia, they're in cahoots with them, and the Colombian cartels run by Pablo Escobar. And so, like, if you like a good what the fuck documentary, this blew my fucking mind. It's trending on Netflix at the moment. It's brilliant. It's just a straight up interviews, and the bit that really got me is they get these helicopters, right? Each helicopter should cost $1 million. They buy them for like 200 grand each, because the generals just have them on their lot, and it's like each, everybody for their fucking selves in the early 90s in Russia.
Yeah.
The entire society was crumbling. So, don't know why I said it like that. Yeah.
Bit of character.
Do whatever. Yeah. Just a bit of. No, shut up. So they've got these fucking helicopters in this giant plane. The plane's on the runway, they're about to take off, right? Russian mafia turns up. Because they've just bought it off the generals. At this point, they're in with the Russian mafia.
Yeah.
And what's so remarkable about this film is not only that, like, you're watching it, and when it's a gangster film and it's a retelling of a true thing, you're like, oh, that's crazy. Like in Blow, where he's just like put a fucking ton of weed in the plane and flies it across the border, and that's what he gets arrested for.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real person. You know, Mr. Nice was a real person. Like all these people, it's very interesting because of the real life element. You know, we say these people are the only people to go and do this shit. It was all crazy, but most of these gangster stories aren't fictitious. They're real. And so this documentary blew my mind. They got this plane on the fucking runway. The Russian mafia turns up. AK-47s. There's like 30, 40 geezers surrounding them. And they're going, fuck you, we want money. We want they want $100,000 per person, right? So like $3 million or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa, we don't have all that money. They've done the deal with the general, and they're not letting the fucking plane go. They've locked them down. And so they have this meeting. They're like, look, we can't give you money, but what we can do is set you up with Pablo Escobar and make you the distributor of the cocaine in Russia. So they, instead of paying the mafia off, they set them up with the drugs and then fucking just started making even more money selling to a new territory. And it was just like the kind of audaciousness of it, the outlandish, the vastness of their operation and how much they didn't give a fuck. They would fly from America to Sweden, right? Land in like an Audi dealership or Mercedes dealership, and for Pablo Escobar, go and buy it. Like there was like the Mercedes SL had just come out, and it takes like 6 months to hit American markets.
Yeah.
They fly to Sweden, buy 10 of them in the dealership, fly them to fucking Colombia, and have them a year before anybody else in the country. Like that's crazy. Like they did stuff that not only like money and power, but it's not just about money and power. It's about like that kind of like people power. Do you know what I mean? Like when you've got that level of like influence and just like the sheer like
balls.
Well, cocaine literally gives you like all the fucking confidence in the world. So I hear. And what I think is like, you know, they're geared up to fuck all the time. And they're like, should we just buy 10 plays from Swift? Like, why the fuck not? Like, you're in the age of Concord. Like, back then, and I think it's also like a romantic idea about certain periods of history. Like, you know, before forensics, for instance, before drone surveillance now, or like people, you know, they were doing things and one of them gets given a cell phone that doesn't have bill. So he's like, so one of the guys is like, wait, so someone bought your phone and you never have to pay for it? He's like, it's fucking tap to fuck, mate. He's like, get rid of that fucking phone now. Like, how stupid can you be? So these guys are kind of stupid, and they are, to some extent, you know, some of them are middlemen and stuff, but I implore you, please, this is the fucking best thing you will see. It is so good. It is like so off the chain, and it just inspired me to think, gangsters are mental, mate.
That they are.
Yeah, and then conversely, a week ago, when we were first discussing this, I told you watch Godfather and Godfather Part 2 and Godfather Part 3 because Francis Ford Coppola has re-edited the third one, and Andrew Garcia is now saying that he wants to direct a fourth one.
It's now The Death of Michael Corleone.
Yeah,
the third one.
Yeah. They've got this one, that ridiculous long title, and I tried my best to watch Godfather Part 2. I couldn't do it, mate. I couldn't do it. I got 45 minutes in, I had to turn it off because it's just too boring. Because I get the softness and the slow pace of the camera, but because of what we've discussed with other genres, once you improve and do more things more aggressively, violently, sharper cuts, Scorsese, with mad panning shots and different things, like, it's boring now, isn't it? And I know it's an Oscar winner. It won fucking like 11 Oscars. Well, so I'm saying something with 11 Oscars, boring and rubbish.
Well,
it's not that rubbish. I'm sure it's good.
I watched all three of those films when I was 17, 16.
Yeah.
And I also forgot how I think you were at the wedding for like 10 minutes in the first film. And I was like,
it just takes so long.
Like, I know these films are just good.
Yeah.
They are so good that they're kind of they're so good they're kind of uninteresting to really talk about. It's like cinematography, good. Writing, good.
It's like
acting, really good. It's like, I've got nothing to say.
Yeah.
Although one thing I do have to say is Sofia Coppola.
Yeah.
I love you. You're a great director.
Oh, I like her.
Terrible actress.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Again, love you. Lost in Translation, great film.
Yeah.
Love it. You are not a good actress at all.
Yeah, so he got criticised for having her in the film.
Yes, because nepotism, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really mind it. I'm like, she's definitely the worst actor.
I think ironically, it lends to the nature of the gangster genre itself. because they all hire their own children. It's all part. Hey, you're one of the family. All of that. So moving on a little bit to like British gangster films. I mean, I really love Bronson.
I wouldn't call Bronson a gangster film.
No,
That's more of a crime film.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of, he definitely was in the gangster world in Britain. It's just that he wasn't personally a gangster. He was more like if you had a pit bull.
Well, I don't think he was involved. He was just like some guy who fucking robbed. He just robbed some place.
No, he did bare knuckle boxing and stuff.
Yeah, that's not gangster. That's like
no, but the gangsters were the ones that organised the fights. It was an organised crime.
I know, but it's not like
the main
it's not like the
patrons of
fucking gangs were like, yeah, he's one of us.
Okay.
He was just some guy who got arrested.
All right, I would say Bronson is an outlier in terms of he's so enigmatic that I don't think you can call Bronson anything. I think Bronson's his own.
Yeah, it's like he's not famous because he was a gangster. He was famous because he was Bronson.
Yeah.
He was just some fucking mental dude who was like.
He'd fuck you up. He might listen to this. Don't be careful what you say. Mr.
Is
Bronson.
he dead?
No.
Oh.
No, he's not dead.
No,
he's out of prison. And he got remarried to a woman that fell in love with him and stuff.
Oh,
like his life is still crazy. In a good way, Mr. Bronson. Please come on our podcast.
He's not going to hear this.
Yeah.
Of all the 20 people who listen to this, it's not going to be.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. So yeah, British gangster films. I wanted to ask you, what do you think? I mean, you haven't seen Sexy Beast and stuff. Sexy Beast was given to me in a creative writing lecture as the example of a perfect screenplay. And if you look at it, and I implore you to watch that as well. It's a brilliant film. Ben Kingsley is. That's where Sir Ben Kingsley, apart from Gandhi, that is probably his most famous performance. Because he
more famous than the Mandarin from Iron Man 3.
Yes, Nick.
I don't know that.
No, 100%. Because basically he does this rant, and it is insane. He's trying to convince Ray Winston's character to come home to do this bank job, right? And the bank job itself was fucking brilliant. Just go and watch it. That speech is just insane. Also, I don't know. Do you have any other big? Are you a big fan of any other British gangster films?
Well, I'm not necessarily a fan. There's a few I really like. I don't know if I'd call the crime films I like aren't necessarily gangster films from England because I really like Snatch, Lock, Stock. Yeah. I wouldn't call them gangster films.
I don't know if I would call them gangster films, but I wouldn't call them. I don't know if they're British. Because they're so international, Guy Ritchie's so Hollywood.
Yeah, no, but his early stuff was very British.
I know, but I mean, is Snatch a British gangster film? I mean, it's got Russian, it's got Americans in it. I mean,
but it's a British gangster film.
Yeah. I mean, Snatch is a caricature of itself. So they took the idea. I mean, we can't talk about gangster films without talking about Bricktop. Yeah, you know what Nemesis means? It's a righteous infliction. Oh shit. It's a righteous infliction. Oh bollocks! I knew it off by heart and I fucked it up. Is Pulp Fiction a gangster film?
I would say. I don't know.
Because I think it kind of is.
There are crime films and then there are gangster films, and they are basically holding. If there's a Venn diagram of gangster films,
Reservoir Dogs is a gangster film, though.
Yeah, again, I'd say it's more of a crime film.
Well, it's a gangster film and a heist film. I don't.
Yeah, but for me, gangster films are like they are about the family.
Are they more about the character? Like, yeah, is it like if you don't have, like, for instance, stuff about Al Capone, stuff about the Krays, those films are about how we view, like, it's a view of a toxic masculine person, and it's a character study of them. Do you know what I mean? That's what the main gangster film. And then also just like this rival, like it has to have a serious rival, be it either another crime boss or some police investigator, someone that through their own personal, like, whatever they're about, has to match the other person. Like in Heat with Al Pacino and De Niro is the most famous one probably. Then emulated in The Dark Knight with Batman and the Joker. Ooh! Oh, did I just go there? But that idea that you have to have these forces, the force of good and evil, like they have to match each other in equal and opposite ways.
For me, a gangster film has to be more of a long-term thing. Mm-hmm. Like, if I just see one, if it's just over like a week, I don't feel like I can call that a gangster film.
Yeah.
Because again, no, it's just about their one heist. Or it's
Okay.
about this one guy. It's about a crime.
Yeah.
For me, a gangster film has to be like, this is over a few years, or it's like over a while. So I can be like, this is how this family works. This is how we operate. All that. For me, that is what makes it a gangster film.
Okay.
Because like Snatch is, I don't know how long it's set over, but like I wouldn't call that a gangster film because it's set over like a week.
Yeah, I'd say it's so like
For me, a gangster
it's a heist. It's a
like,
character ensemble and a heist film.
It's like Goodfellas
With
is set
gangsters.
over like 40 years.
Yeah.
The Godfather's set over like I think like a
Yeah,
month.
that annoys me. Godfather Part 2, it's fucking. I'm watching it, going, all right, I get it. You know, I get that now Michael Corleone is the Godfather guy, but then it goes back to fucking old matey's childhood.
To be fair, I do love the Vito child stuff.
Do you?
Yeah, that's
Why?
my favourite part. Because
Why?
I fucking love watching him become fucking Vito Corleone.
All right, I got halfway through, it was just in the immigration bit, and then I haven't seen
When
the
he
bit where he
like,
becomes a gangster.
because there's a
so
guy who's like, just let me wet my pig. That is my favourite part of that film is watching him become Vito Corleone, because he's not Vito Corleone at the beginning. He's Vito. He's got a different.
He
name.
has a family name that they're all after.
Well, because
and then he says, I'm blah, blah, blah from Corleone. So he goes, Vito Corleone, and writes it on his immigration and changes his name.
My favourite part is it De Niro?
Yeah.
Is him becoming, Vito Corleone. That's my favourite part of that film.
Alright, I'll go back and watch the rest
But
of
yeah, for me, this thing, it's like, for me, gangster films have to take place over a series of time.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just, because you're not focusing on that family, or that you're focusing on this one heist.
Okay.
For me, that's a heist film. It's not.
Okay. I mean, we've been obsessed with the kind of Italian American gangsters. I mean, do you consider Boys in the Hood a gangster film? Like what?
No,
90s?
because you're not focusing on someone involved. You're focusing on someone who's just like around it. You're not focusing on like, this is how we operate, this is how we work.
Right.
It's kind of just like, this is one guy who's friends with all these guys.
Right.
So I wouldn't call it a gangster film.
Okay.
But that is a purely a me thing. For me, a gangster film needs to be like.
I mean,
The
Wire is still. I mean, would you say The Wire is a crime? Is a crime drama, or would you say it's a gangster thing? I
call it more crime.
Yeah, because it's more about the cyclical nature.
Yeah.
That's actually an interesting point, because if you think about the difference between a crime drama, and the pinnacle of that is The Wire, compared to a gangster story, let's say the pinnacle of that being Sopranos. I know both of these are TV and not film people, but fuck you, I'm a motherfucking gangster. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, is the idea that a gangster film may glorify to an extent, obviously not all the time, but I think gangster films do glorify their characters and their what do we call it when it's not a hero but the main character? Protagonist. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah.
The protagonist will often be glorified to a certain point until they're shown to be like pathetic or lost their mind or in over the head, etc. And that's a common trope in terms of man gets success, man gets power, man gets money, man fucking cheats on his wife, does too much drugs, goes a bit mad, fucks it all up, right? That's basically universal. But the gangster film does that very well. Whereas what I would say is in a crime drama is, and The Wire is the best example, is we see the cyclical nature of the system itself and how gangsters or criminals and the system of the crime and judicial system itself and government and working class, the class system, etc., works in order to create and destroy these people.
Yeah.
Because without the system, you wouldn't have gangsters, right? I mean,
because The Wire ends of literally like, you get a new Bubbles, you get a new Omar, you get a new Bodhi, you get like the kids you're following in season 4, they become the new guys that you will follow if it's continued. So, I mean, yeah. But I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's two sides of the same coin. I just think that in the gangster genre, we're looking a little bit more affectionately at the sort of morality of an immoral world, whereas, well, no, I guess they both do the same. I guess they both do the same, but it's from a different angle. Do you know what I mean? gangster films are more hierarchical, whereas crime dramas are more linear. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for me, a gangster film.
gangster film is a capitalist, crime drama socialist.
Well, it's like for me, no, a gangster film for me is like you're not necessarily watching these guys. This is a day. It's like you're watching how this all works.
Yeah.
Like The Godfather, you're watching how it all works.
Right.
The Goodfellas, you're watching how it all works.
Okay.
Legend, you're watching how it all works.
Yeah.
But films like Reservoir Dogs, you're just seeing this one time.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Pulp Fiction, you're kind of that's different because but you're just following like a lower tier guy doing his job.
Yeah.
And
Okay, no, I understand. Yeah, I see the difference there.
For me, a gangster film is like you're seeing all of it.
Okay.
Like The Irishman, you're seeing all of it.
Have you seen The Irishman?
No, but I'm assuming you see all of it.
Yeah. I see that too,
fucking
'cause I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, it's like
I was like, oh, you're old now. What
I'd say
cares?
The Departed is a gangster film because you're kind of seeing the inner workings.
Yes, I would say that. I mean, there are corrupt films that you don't realise are gangster films until they become a gangster. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like until you realise that was like. Have you seen Leon, Professional?
Yes.
Do you consider that a gangster film?
No, because you're following this one specific man.
We do still see all the workings, though, man.
Yeah, but
To an extent.
But also, no, for me that is I wouldn't call it a gangster film because he's not like going, oh yeah, I'm a gangster. He's like, no,
All right.
just work
So
for
does a
people.
gangster film have to exist if the central character, the central character has to be a gangster?
Yeah, I feel like you need to be following someone who's deeply involved in the family.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just for me, it's just a crime film.
So that's what constitutes a making the bones of the gangster genre is someone being central, being the central character and the workings of it. In terms of like American versus British gangster films, what are your favourites, mate?
I don't know.
Do you prefer? Which do you prefer?
I feel like America has a better, I feel because America's just a lot more cultural. There's a lot more culture, so you can have a lot more films about different varieties of.
Yeah, I think the Italian
gangsters.
Mafia.
Yeah, because for me,
obviously-
a gangster film is Italian.
Right.
For me personally, it's the mafia. But so you got like The Sopranos, you got Goodfellas, all that, like the classics.
Yeah.
But English, I'm not necessarily that interested in, to be honest. The only real gangster film I can remember really enjoying was Eastern Promises.
Oh yeah, I like that film.
And I think that might be because I love David Cronenberg. I think he's a fucking great director. And Viggo Mortensen
He's just great.
is just a fucking hero.
Yeah.
And it's got one of the most brutal fight scenes I remembered in a long time,
Right.
where they're in the bathhouse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is a brutal fight scene.
Yeah, that's not
But
cool.
in general, I would say most English gangster films, mainly because it's all set in London, and I just don't care. Firstly, I hate the Cockney London accents, and they're all Cockney, so I just don't like hearing them talk.
So you don't like the East London gangster thing compared to American?
What is the East London gangster thing?
Well, the craze.
I don't like the way they talk. Kind of just annoys
the
me.
60s London.
Yeah,
gangster.
I don't like that accent. It just irritates me.
You fucking what?
Well, I'd say that's not that. I'd say it's all right, governor.
All right, governor.
Yeah, it's like that. I don't like the accent.
Oh right. Consider yourself.
Yes. Yes, the
You are
world's
considered
first
yourself.
Cockney.
Yeah. Artful Dodger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Later went on to have a great recording career with Craig David. That's just a little joke there for you garage heads. Oi oi. That's a very obscure reference. Well, it's not if you're from Essex.
Yeah, everyone knows.
But I mean, the people in Russia listening to us, right? What I wanted to know, what you think, or what? Right. So, what's your favourite gangster film, or top 5? Give me your top 5.
Goodfellas is a fucking great
Right.
film. I really like Eastern Promises.
Right.
Let's throw Donnie Brasco in there.
Okay.
After that, I'm kind of like, what the fuck constitutes a gangster film?
Right.
To be perfectly honest.
Do you want to hear some of my favourites?
Yeah, hit me because you know more about the shit than I do.
Casino blew my mind. I prefer that to Goodfellas. Have you seen Casino? Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I don't know why I nodded because no one can fucking hear me.
All right.
But yeah, I watched it. I remember liking it.
I thought it was better. The Business with Danny
Danny
Dyer.
Dyer.
There's more fucks in that film than it's literally billed itself. The marketing was more f-bombs than Scarface, more violence than Goodfellas, blah blah. And so it was literally like they counted how many fucks were in in fucking Scarface, and then went, let's put 2 more in. And it's like, you fucking cunt, you cardboard cut out cunt, fuck you for $1,000. And it's like all of this. It's just the expats in Spain trying to deal with the actual
Yeah, see,
like,
I remember
Spanish
watching
mafia.
that, and
It's shit and good. It's the bullseye of gangster films.
yeah, I was gonna say
it's quite good,
I watched it
but it's also shit.
like I think I was like 15 when I watched that,
Yeah.
and I remember there being like, oh, okay, fine.
Mm.
I never felt like I needed to watch it again. I've heard it's actually pretty good.
Because that's the peak of Danny Dyer's career. That's probably like the biggest film he's made.
Severance. No, Football Factory. That's the best. It's bigger
Oh
than
right,
Business.
yeah, it's probably bigger. Yeah. But I mean, it's all that was his peak, 2005-ish.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I mean, we can't talk about gangster films without the Dyer.
Well, it depends on what you can't see gangster films. Because
What? So you don't think Danny Dyer's been in any gangster films?
No, he has. It just
Right.
depends on what films you're talking about.
What films are you talking about? I don't know, mate.
No, I don't know what films I'd say.
Football
gangster films.
Factory
I
and
wouldn't
The
say it's a
Business.
gangster film. That's a crime film. Business, I'd say. Yeah.
That is pretty.
I wouldn't say the Football Factory is a gangster film.
No.
That's Football Hooligan film.
Yeah,
is
I know.
Green, is
but
Green
to what
Street
extent?
is Green Street a gangster film?
It's
or is
halfway there. This is the point. This is the point of that I want to bring up, right? Is that in reflecting upon what men and how we've in real life, going back to the sort of art versus life of gangster films, I think gangster films glorify what it is to be a toxic man, and therefore becomes a gateway drug to becoming the thing that you're then seeing on screen. So normal lad, 12 years old, let's say his name's Vito Corleone, is watching a gangster film. It's football. It's not a gangster film. Sorry, it's like Football Factory. Yeah. So he goes, oh yeah, I can have a row with all these other people. And then when you get to the point where it's Rise of the Foot Soldier, they become. What point does it become a mob? Right. So you have sort of like grades of whether or not so it's acceptable or not. Some people on the right wing of politics, they protesting, oh, you're just like a mob of people. If people are peacefully protesting over here, then you have protests where it might get violent. Then you have organised like mobs. Then you have football mobs that are organised. Then you have organised crime. Then you have militias over here. I'm just in a spectrum of things, right? So you personally could go, that gangster film's really cool, or that Football Factory film's cool. I want to support Millwall and go down there with a hammer. You ham someone in the fucking head.
If you
make
watch
a couple
Football
of
Factory, you
pounds.
start supporting Millwall.
I don't know. All
They
right.
support West Ham.
All
Millwall
right.
are the villains.
All right.
Because in Green Street, they
Oh
support
right.
West
Okay,
Ham.
I've got it right. When he wakes up in the.
No, in Football Factory and Green Street, they both support West Ham.
Mm.
And Millwall are always villains because Millwall are.
I mean, Millwall fans
Obsessive.
in real life have obviously,
Yeah, they punched a horse.
and
I'm pretty sure.
they all booed the Black Lives Matter.
I think a
knee.
West Ham. No, West Ham fan once punched the eagle from Crystal Palace. A Millwall
Okay.
fan once punched a horse.
I'm just saying, like football hooliganism.
Did you just get a can opener to open your normal beer?
Sorry, yeah, it wasn't. I haven't. I bite
Okay.
my nails a lot. Look at that. Look at my nails right now.
Oh,
Terrible.
you got a. Is it a pedi or a mani?
No, I just bite my nails and the skin around my nails.
So is it a mani or a pedi?
A manicure, pedicure is on your feet. We're not being
So
very
manicure-
gangster
so
right now,
manicures on
Nick.
your hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not gangster. Anyway, so right, so you prefer the particularly American Italian gangster story thing,
Yeah.
subgenre.
Well, that's because I just don't like hearing people who I can.
You just don't like Cockney accents,
Well, it's like true. It's okay. I feel like I've simplified it.
right?
I don't like hearing people I could meet in real life.
Right,
It's just someone that I don't like grime music,
right.
and it's not necessarily.
I
because-
love grime music.
I don't because I know people who sound like that.
Right.
And the moment I know someone who sounds like something, it kind of takes me out.
How? That's a very strange explanation.
No, it's because like you know when like I've met I know people who sound the same act like they're
But
from
I've
London.
met Graham Norton. It doesn't mean I'm not going to fucking watch Graham Norton every Friday.
Yeah, but are you going to take him? Do you take Graham Norton seriously?
I find him quite amusing.
Okay,
I
good
mean,
for
that's
you.
his job.
I don't. Well, it's like because like I'm aware of
Hang
that
on.
world.
Right. So if you understand something, you disrespect it more.
No, this is what I'm saying. Okay, because I know people who are like it, and
Yeah.
then like I can't imagine this person in that world.
Oh, so it takes away the artistic
Yeah,
element of
it's
it.
because I know people like
Because
that.
you've related to it too much.
Yeah, so I know people like that,
Okay.
and I've not seen it,
So
but I'm aware of shit like that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care.
So because I'm an
It's
OG,
less
have I
fictional.
ruined gangster films for you now?
You are the least OG person I know.
Are you looking at me or are you fucking blind? Like,
I'm also blind.
oh come on, I'm fairly OG. I mean, I'm older than you, by a couple of years.
Yeah, but you're not original, are you?
Why not?
Because you're not an original gangster.
I am.
In
My
what way?
all right, I'll tell you. King of the Gypsies came to my auntie's funeral.
Tyson Fury.
No, not Tyson Fury. A real gypsy king. Like a real person. His son had killed 7 people and never been
You're
arrested.
aware this has no relevance to me, right?
No, I know. I just want you to, this is, unfortunately, right? If you'd said, yeah, you're the OG, Jason, OG of podcasts, OG of beers that save bees, without saying the legal name so we can't get sued. And then what would have happened is the 7 geezers that are waiting by their door would have come out and made you a made man. Now you're fucking dead to me. You're
Oh,
fucking dead to me.
But actually,
I'm joking. I don't want to
to.
be the OG of your life.
I need to rephrase.
I'm the OG of my own life.
I
Nick.
need to rephrase what I'm saying.
In a better way, or
In a better way, because in
I'm
like
joking.
every time I hear grime music,
Mhm.
there is someone I know who's like so not about it at all.
Nick literally knows
Well, no, 'cause I-
Skepta and Stormzy.
No, I
and
don't know.
Jeremy
That's the thing. I
and
don't know
Wiley,
them, but I know someone who sounds a lot like them.
Right.
And they're the fucking goofiest guy in the world.
Yeah, I don't know
And
if that's
when
an
I hear-
okay reason.
No. Let me explain.
Okay.
Okay, so when I hear grime music,
Yeah.
I know people who sound like that,
Yes.
and they're just the fucking nicest dude in the world.
So you don't believe they're bad?
No, but it's like it's not
They've
that.
broken the
No,
fourth
no, it's
wall.
not. No. Listen to what I'm saying. So when I hear that, all I imagine is my mate rapping like that, and
Okay.
I'm like, I can't take this seriously. Because
Okay.
the person I know who sounds like this is just the fucking nicest dude in the world. So it sounds like if they were trying to do this, I'm like, no, you're not.
Right.
This is a purely personal thing, and,
Yes.
and that is it.
Okay.
But when in American films, like I don't know anyone who's American. I don't know anyone who sounds like that.
Interesting.
So it is further away from me.
Believe me, when you meet them, very
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. But in terms of
annoying.
like,
They really are.
I've met people who I got along with
Because
who
they
are
don't.
like-
It doesn't stop. It's not an impression. Did you know this?
yeah, I know.
Did you know Americans
Are American, yeah.
think that when British people do an accent, right, do an American accent, they're like, "Oh my god, how did you drop the accent?" Like, I'm not fucking dropping an accent. I'm putting one on.
Yeah.
Christian Bale used to be, for the whole time he was Batman, like, would put on an American accent during every single like media interview he had to do during all the premieres and the tour and the media tours and stuff, because he was worried that Americans like just couldn't handle him with a British accent. And to this day, some people that are even famous like, don't know that Christian Bale's not American. He's Welsh. Christian Bale is Welsh, which has got fuck all to do with gangster films. So let's get back on the bloody thing I've got written down here. Right.
What I'm saying is, I'm so ingrained into English culture that I don't take like English crime films
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah.
because the amount of like, do you remember the Tinko Screw That?
Yeah, I know that completely.
Every
By
time I
heart.
think of grime music,
Michael
Dapper. Every time I think about
yeah.
that, I think of Michael Dapper, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just can't take it seriously.
Oh wait, so he's ruined the entire genre.
No,
for
that's
me.
I
That's
get it.
amazing.
But,
Right?
like,
No,
stuff
I
like
get
that-
it now. Yeah, okay, I get it.
I feel
Yeah.
like I'm happy that I finally got my point across, because I feel like I sound like a fucking douchebag for.
Bit
Heard
bit
so,
dodgy,
because
but,
it is
you know,
so pop culture English.
we can be edgelords here, Nick.
Because it's so pop culture for England.
Yeah.
I've also
Too close to home.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
with
too.
you.
It generally is too
I'm
close.
with you. Like once you know, it's sort of like if Al Capone like did a fart in the car or like fell over like his own shoe. Like you'd be
Yeah,
like,
so you
oh,
can't
Al
take it
Capone,
seriously.
you silly sausage.
It's like exactly.
You
can't
ruin
take
the
it seriously.
aggressive, like the laser focus of their aggression and violence and their like tenacity and all, ambition and all of these like hard things, and they're like, oh, and they do a little trip on their coat or something, and you're like, oh, you bellend. Like, do you know what I mean? When you unglorify something and you take it, you know, like what is the folly of a really ambitious man anyway? Other than like you can take him seriously if you want to, like Donald Trump, gangster in the White House, right? Wants to be like that guy. But if you take it seriously and you go, oh my god, this is so scary, or you can just sort of laugh at him and go and pity him for being a fool,
Yeah.
being like completely trapped by his own persona and own like idea of what the world should be in an aggressive, violent sense. Do you see what I mean? Like because to be that man, you can become the Al Capone, the craze, the whatever. But you are also, if not seen in that lens or respected in that given, like in the family or whatever, then you're just pathetic. Then you're just a drug dealer. Like you're a bad person. Like only when you make a value relevant to what you do you become bigger or better than other people, and that is obviously false in any sense because we are all equal, Nick. Every race, colour, and creed, religion, etc. That's why I'm not a gangster, because I'm a socialist. The hierarchy of power won't work for me, unlike what this turtleneck says.
What it says that you're going to promote the new iPhone?
Oh, he's good. He's good. Yeah.
Not good.
You wait until I get the glasses out. And so, right, given Operation Odessa, also shout out to another great documentary on iPlayer. I think it's either called Pablo versus Pablo or Escobar versus Escobar, and it's about the story of this Spanish footballer who missed a penalty in the late 80s, about 1988, 86, I think. Are you looking it up, Nick, or are you going to fact check?
No, because I'm pretty sure this guy was Colombian, because I know there was a Colombian team that got killed.
Alright, it might be Colombian. I don't know. All I know is I was very hammered when I watched this documentary, and it's about this story of Pablo Escobar. There was a footballer, either called Pablo or with the last name Escobar, no relation, but because he was a famous footballer and he had this penalty in, I think it might even be a World Cup, he missed. That, regardless of the facts, this footballer with the same name as Pablo Escobar, be it first or second name, took a penalty, went to shoot a goal, missed, and Pablo Escobar got him murdered, assassinated, purely because he had the same name. Like, that's how. Like, you've got to have an ego.
It was Colombian. It's Andres Escobar.
Andres Escobar. Right. Okay. Okay. So he did play for. Yeah. Fair enough. He played. If it was like Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah.
I know a lot more football than I realised. Do you know what I mean?
Well, because you know Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah. You can thank me later after this
Who
podcast.
doesn't know Bolton Wanderers?
Your nan.
My nan definitely knows Bolton Wanderers.
Ring your nan up live on this podcast now and
We're
tell
not
me
speaking
who
terms.
are. You're not.
No.
She's the real Pablo in your family. She's the Don Corleone.
She's the.
Are you the Don Corleone in your
no,
family
I'm
yet,
not,
Nick?
I'm not Sally. Is it Vito?
Mm-hmm.
She's the Vito of the family.
I just call Don because you're the Don. You'll see there by the same Mario Puzo, the last Don. You see that book there, Nick?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Found that on a bench in Walton by the.
You stole a book.
No, I found it on a bench.
So you
abandoned.
stole a book.
I found an abandonment. If a baby's abandoned on your doorstep, do you steal it?
No, because they just left it there.
Exactly. That's the fucking book.
So they just left it there. Just needed the rest. They needed to tie their shoes.
Oi.
Where else are you gonna leave a baby?
It's fucking gay. Right. Right. In real life, what I want to know: who is the hardest gangsters ever? Who do you think? Like, because I haven't brought up, so I wanted to bring up a few like real life gangster shit. So there is. Last night I was watching The Black Godfather. That is Clarence Avant, and Clarence Avant was this guy that between music, film, politics. His mentor, Mr. Glazer, had the same accountant and same lawyer as Al Capone. But this guy starts in the 50s as the first black, like, he's basically like a consultant, but he like connects people with people. But he's responsible for like basically all of a lot of black and liberal stuff that you would know. Just go and watch The Black Godfather. It goes on for like fucking 2 hours. It's a long documentary. There's so much information. But he had this connection to the underworld, and he brought it, and he got black people basically their money. He got them to be paid the same as what white people were being paid. He got them to be at the forefront. He created, he innovated within many different worlds, but also had this connection to the underworld. It's also a bit about, I just kind of like the whole gangster life thing. If you think talking about like, if you look at the documentary of Dr. Dre, the Defiant Ones. Sorry, the Defiant Ones. So I mean, like in terms of like the Suge Knight, gangster rap of the 90s and stuff, like we begin to see the blur between like what it is to be a gangster and what it is to glorify gangster culture in order to make an image and make a thing out of it with hip hop and stuff. And I was kind of interested what you think about. I mean, you say you don't like grime music and you don't like other like London accents on films and stuff, but I mean, do you think it's cool that like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and stuff like they essentially manufactured an image in the 90s that didn't exist, right? So, I mean, have you ever seen the photos of Dr. Dre in the late 80s with the sequins? And
Oh yeah, he was in
yeah.
that band.
Yeah,
because he
had
a stethoscope.
Yeah,
Doctor. Yeah, he was. He was a doctor.
Yeah, he was a doctor. Yeah.
I'm not, because I'm probably more into hip hop than you are.
Yeah.
By quite a large degree.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know. I've never been that into like gangster stuff.
No, I'm not asking about whether or not it appeals to you, but I mean, it is blatantly clear that that's the way they marketed themselves in the early to mid 90s. Like, and I think that, I don't know, at what point is it cool or uncool? Like, because to me, I'll watch, like, you could put on Gin and Juice and they're all like saying they're gangsters, right? Or Ain't Nothing But an OG Baby, right? Like, Ain't Nothing But a G thing. G stands for gangster, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. I've blown your mind, Nick. I've blown your mind. No, my point is that like, so once you market a concept to a culture and say, oh, we're really gangster, you spell it with an A, and then you create a culture within itself. And I feel like when we look back and consume that media, right, I'll look back on it as art, as they're not real gangsters. But Snoop Dogg did nearly get done on a murder charge. Now he's the fucking voice of and face of Just Eat. But like, it's gone from in the same way, like I was saying earlier, Mr. Nice and even the story of The Godfather is the story of someone with nothing who rises through power, through his charisma, intelligence, and wit, to become an illegitimate boss, right? And then moves over from the illegitimate underworld to a legitimate world. And in the actual publication, in the publishing world and the fucking rights of these people's stories, Mr. Nice made millions of dollars trafficking drugs. These people on the Operation Odessa documentary traffic drugs, make millions of dollars. But they're making money on the story. I mean, I don't think they got paid for that documentary, but Mr. Nice probably got money for that. See what I mean? Like, in the same way that Snoop Dogg at one point was a street kid, right? He had a talent for rapping, but he was also involved in this other shit. He got away with the other shit through being good at rapping and having connections. Got away from that. And now, like, he's on Graham Norton saying, oh, like, Pharrell Williams told me to stop swearing on tracks and be more family friendly. And he makes bank.
So what are you asking me? What is your...
Worth over $100 million. I mean, what I'm asking you is, do you agree with me that, like, society allows gangsters to behave badly and then we all kind of are in on the deal?
I don't know. I don't think we are.
No?
Personally. Because... Like,
I think that's
we all know,
cool, but it's weird, isn't it?
We all know that a lot of it isn't real. Personally.
This is it. Yeah, how real is the gangster thing?
Other than like at the moment drill music, because they do talk about.
They do fucking actually kill people.
The time they did kill that person and they get banned. I don't think it should be banned. I think like
because that gangster film thing is literally on the bonus extras of the Scarface Deluxe DVD you can buy that I bought when I was like 18. Is like Fat Joe and all those rappers of that era talking about how Scarface was such an inspiration to them. I'm sat there going, So this inspiration of this film, where this guy fucking ruins his life and gets murdered, was for you to become a coke dealer and then a rapper and then make money off that reputation. Like the rap thing, like we all know, Notorious B.I.G. and fucking Tupac weren't gangsters. Tupac went to a fucking college.
He went to an art school.
Yeah, he went to an art school, and Notorious B.I.G. was brought up the whole thing of one rule check. You know, that's a load of bollocks. He didn't grow up in the ghetto. They all had that. You know, as someone that's been a creative talent myself, like I look at them and I go, well, that's just what you did, and you exploited it. But you said you were fucking hard, and then you exploited it even more. They exploited their own ethnicity, their own culture, their own situation in order to emphasize it, in order to create this image of what a gangster is. And every time you do that, it's the same fucking way that I bitch about J.K. Rowling obfuscating the reality of the true sense of where that artistic inspiration came from. You fucking like miniaturize the suburban culture of the fucking British people in the same way that rap culture and these films constantly they eat each other. They eat it all up again and again and again. So like the gangster genre itself glorifies gangsters one after the other, and then like with violence and superheroes.
I understand the appeal though.
Yeah, I understand the appeal whatsoever. Like
I mean,
fucking
I understand
gangsters are cool.
why. No, but
Cocaine is cool.
it's not even a cool thing. I mean, I understand why like a young black guy would be. Yeah, Scarface is the fucking hero.
Yeah,
I get it 100%.
Yeah,
I mean, because like
I'm not denying that.
honestly, because like
I'm
you
just
and
saying
me,
it's fucking mental.
yeah, it's like no, I mean, I don't even think it's mental. I completely understand it. I mean, the idea of like, listen, like we've both come from pretty poor families.
Yeah.
And the idea of like this guy started with nothing, he got rich, he died pretty young, but these are people who
they're the
generally
modern day cowboys.
They die young.
They're the modern
well,
day.
it's like these are people who not even heroes. It's like this is a society where like these people, police have killed them for no reason.
Yeah. Do you think they're what they call in the sort of the hood? What is it? They're a product of their environment. Do you buy that?
I completely see it. I can see why you could see Scarface as an idol, because these are kids who've like
I just think
here's a man who's had nothing, and he's made himself. He's got like listen. The name of 50 Cent's album is "Get Rich or Die Trying."
Yeah,
I completely understand. I think that's how that's how I still view the world.
That's how you. Yeah, I can see.
Yes, I can see "Get Rich or like."
Every time we're doing these podcasts, I have a knife to my throat, and Nick's like, "Fucking banter with me, or we're going down, motherfuckers."
Let's not act like I'm the guy in charge of these podcasts. You are definitely
I'm joking.
You are definitely on point.
I'm the mastermind.
Yeah.
I did it. God damn you! If the CIA, FBI,
ATF.
yeah, whatever. If you're listening, I did it. No, I didn't. Have you ever been interviewed by any serious police officers?
No.
I've had a CID once. And the most gangster moment of my life, actually. I got two gangster moments. Am I allowed to share my gangster moments?
Oh, yeah, do you?
One gangster moment was someone had punched me in the face at a pub. And I was so drunk, and they kind of missed. So it just like it grazed off me. I was young. And then they punched another person in another pub, and they nearly killed him. Now, I'm like just barely 18 at the time. And this shit was like, they're like, there's a police investigation, there's 5 victims, and we want to talk to you. And it was a very serious crime. And so I'm just smoking a joint with my mates on a casual Thursday afternoon, evening. And then I get told, like, there's this man outside your house, you'll come and speak to him. It's like silver BMW. And I was like, shit. And I was really high. And I knew he was from the CID. So I get in his car, and he's like, yeah, I need to ask you some questions about this attempted murder case. And I was like, okay. And I've never, like my synapses, my nerves, like fucking fireworks. I'm just like, pretend you're not high, pretend you're not high. It was awful. It was fucking awful. But that was pretty gangster. Although I'm not a gangster. Like, that was just...
Did you snitch?
It was just... I gave them the information I had, Nick, and I had nothing to do with anything else. The other time, which is more, have I told you the story about the Australians?
Oh, with
The
guns.
guns.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that one, haven't I?
Yeah, that's
That's
early.
the
As well.
most.
That was like, that's
I
nice.
want to tell that one again. Yeah,
Get a
guns.
gun pointed at you.
I had 6 to 8 guns pointed at me at
Yeah,
once.
that's
That's more
That's
guns.
a bit overkill.
Yes, literally.
Yeah.
Other gangster moments. No. No.
I've no gangster moments.
No?
I'm the least gangster person.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't go out.
No.
So
Well, not anymore.
I never did.
It's nice to talk to you from Spain, Nick. How's Spain going?
Everything's hot and I hate it. I don't want to go back to England.
Yeah, I wish you a speedy trip back.
Gonzalez.
Yes. Any other gangster films that we haven't mentioned that are worth? No, 'cause
we've touched Goodfellas.
we've touched on the classics and sort of a few British random ones. Is there any like gangster films? Is Akira a gangster film?
No.
They're kind of they're a biker gang though.
Yeah, but a gang's not gangster.
Biker Mice from Mars. Is that?
Yes, but that is so gangster we can't talk
I mean,
about.
that's also very homoerotic, as you said at the time.
I just said that hot. I didn't say that homoerotic.
You're just attracted to mice.
Also, did I say? Was I talking about Ugly Martians?
I can't remember that
Because
one.
there's been a lot. I watched a lot of kids shit when I was a kid. That like,
I remember that.
it was
but
CGI. It wasn't a good show. It was a
don't
really
know.
bad show. There was a lot of stuff along when I was a kid. Do you remember My Parents Were Aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was around about that time.
All right. I was Crimson Chin.
Yeah,
That's what everyone called me at school. That was nice.
that's Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh fuck! Yes, it is.
My Parents Are Aliens was like.
Oh, My Parents Are Yeah, ITV. Yeah,
I
that
had
was
that
big. That
Nickelodeon.
was a big show.
Mm.
That was a massive show. That. All right, gangsters. Look, we glorify them. They're mostly toxic men that are behaving badly, but they're trapped in the system, and that's why we idolise them, because they're the chalk to the cheese, or the cheese to the chalk, or the mongoose to my snake, or the snake to my mongoose.
Is this a bit?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's done. It's done. And any other points about gangsters, Nick? Money, dollar bills,
I
yo.
don't know. Cream, mate. Cash rules everything.
Yeah.
Cash rules.
I wish I had a piano. Do. Yeah.
That's not.
I mean,
What
it's more.
song are you trying to do?
Cream, get the money, dollar bills, yo. That's a piano bit in it. Oh,
I'm trying to remember. I don't. Is it?
yes. There's a
I've-
piano that in Cream.
Yeah.
It's
It's difficult to hear it without the other instruments,
No, it's out there, mate. I will play it to you off air.
Oh, that's fine, but no, I mean, I've got it saved. But like, I'm sure, like, without music, if someone just does that, I'm not gonna know what it is.
You should know. It's Cream.
I do
every
know.
time.
I'm a bigger Wu-Tang fan than you are.
Yeah.
So,
Are you sure?
yes.
You don't know the piano from Cream? No, I am joking.
Yeah.
I am
If
joking.
you listen to Iron Man.
You are big. You're a much bigger hip hop fan than me.
Yeah.
Anime, weird porn, whatever. Like.
You don't have to say weird porn. You just have to say anime.
Yeah.
People know.
It's under the bracket.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
under the bracket,
It's
people.
the umbrella.
Yeah.
Listen, if there was
Oh,
a
don't use that.
if there was a Venn diagram,
You put it in them and then you open it up.
If there was a Venn diagram of weird porn and anime,
Yeah.
it's just a circle.
Yeah,
There's
it's
nothing.
it's like just when the moon's gonna do a
There's
full
there's,
eclipse.
there's no
There
connection.
might be a slight. There's like Pokemon and fucking Yu-Gi-Oh around
No, that
here.
leads
Even
straight
then,
into it. That
does
leads
it?
straight into
Oh
it.
right, that's the gateway
you
drug.
can't. Yeah, you can't escape.
Right. I feel like this is a rip.
Shout out
rip-
to Bacano.
What the fuck is that?
Bacano's actually a very good anime.
Oh right.
It's actually really good.
I don't know. I can't license what
Would
you're
recommend.
saying. Bacano.
Bacano.
Like Meccano, the metal building toy. But
That's you. That's not me. I'm just talking about Bacano.
do you know what Meccano is?
Fuck no, I don't know. What
You don't know
Meccano
what
is.
Meccano is?
Why the fuck do I know Bacano?
So you had Lego, yeah, the big boy, the
Yeah.
mainstream, the Marvel, then Connects.
After that, I'm out.
Right, you can't remember Connects.
I remember Connect, but
Well,
after
you
that, I'm
remember
done.
it.
I remember Connect.
Meccano is just full on bolts and like tubes with circles in.
I didn't
Very
play
good.
with toys when I was a kid.
The fuck did you do?
PS1.
You've never played with toys?
Not really. I had Toy Soldiers. But
Do
that was
you
like
have
it.
a Heart of Stone?
I played Toy Soldiers and Ape Escape.
Never Lego.
I never got into Lego.
Own any Lego?
I never got into Lego. I
I.
had some Lego, but I never used it.
Whoa.
I
Nick's the
no,
motherfucking
I was-
gangster
no, I
of
was-
toys.
When I was a kid, I
Jesus.
was PlayStation 1. I didn't do toys. When I was like 7, I was playing Resident Evil. I weren't playing with
Jesus
toys.
Christ, man, you're a monster.
I'm damaged, definitely. But, listen, it made me the relatively unhealthy person I am today.
I would say perhaps it's noteworthy.
Shout out to Shin Megami Tensei.
This is
2.
what is that? You're saying
You ever played Persona?
Pardon?
Persona?
No.
Yeah, you need. Yeah,
I don't.
Persona.
I've never played Persona. I just came up with one, mate, and it became a media persona whereby I try and create my own fucking podcast. My real life, like unhealthy habits, were just developed in real life, not through the medium of play.
No, I just play PlayStation.
Yeah, good for you. Are you still PlayStation guy over?
Oh yeah. Fuck Xbox.
PlayStation for life.
I'm a Sony loyalist.
Right.
Despite being someone who's very anti business.
Right.
I'm a massive Sony loyalist.
Never got
it
into
really hurts.
PC gaming.
I
like the way
can't
that
afford
you
it.
like. We never discussed the gaming element, but I know it's important to you, so like I try to relate to you.
I'm a bigger
See what I mean?
gamer than I am film guy.
Are there any big gangster games?
There's Mafia.
I mean, obviously GTA.
Well, there's Grand Theft Auto. There's Mafia, which is a game where you have to follow the speed limit, or you get stopped by the cops. And you
I
get
have
fined.
played that, I think.
Mafia 1 and 2 are really good. 3 kind of became a bit generic. The Godfather game is underrated.
Oh, well,
I was a big fan of it. You play as Aldo Trapani,
that's quite cool.
if I remember the name
Oh,
correctly.
good memory, good memory.
Because I had the game guide for it. I don't know why.
I mean, I have to point out, I don't know whether or not you agree with me, but the prevalence and importance of the gangster idea, genre / character, and then its complete, like, fucking let's nail this down, is
Mafia
the GTA.
Wars.
It's no, but the GTA franchise, like, they were the most successful games of our generation. I'm gonna say that we're the same generation, Nick. I'm like,
I'd say.
yeah,
I'd say they've been successful in multiple generations.
yeah, I'd say because obviously before
PS2 was
PS1
free in
ones.
Vice City.
Yeah.
I don't know about 1 because I know.
Oh mate, the GTA and GTA London were massive. GTA 2.
But were they better than Crash Bandicoot?
I don't think they were the highest selling, but I know everybody that played PlayStation had those games.
I'd say because PS2, Vice City, and 3 were the biggest games.
I think like a generation of
Generation
guys,
after you had 4.
like you wouldn't know the 80s music without Vice City.
Oh, bro, Flock of Seagulls are a really good band.
And they influenced a generation of people that wouldn't listen to that music now unless you had a context. They gave us a context.
100% agree with that. There are bands I love that I would not have listened to if I went to Vice City.
I will play that game. I've got it there. I've got so during lockdown, I've had a number of projects, right?
Yeah.
A number of gangster projects, just to keep it
on trend.
On trend. One, got a coat in there. I don't know if you saw, but I bleached my bath. I fucked my bath, right? Bath's fucked. Toilet's fucked. Sink's a bit fucked. Also, I fucked a load of stuff, but I've bleached it black. That's pretty gangster. The most gangster thing, I made a sledgehammer. That's pretty gangster. But the other gangster thing I did was got the PS2 out, got like cotton buds and shit, got like fucking little bits of tissue. I like cleaned the inside. I got as much dust out of the disc tray and completely cleaned this fucking PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Booted up Vice City, mate. The intro to Vice City when you ain't played a PlayStation in 20 years. It's pretty good.
It's fucking beautiful.
Pretty good feeling, yeah. Other gangster shit. Is there any other gangster shit you can think of, Nick?
The only other thing I can think of is, we mentioned Wu-Tang Clan, is like mafioso hip hop, like Raekwon and Ghostface.
Right, yeah. Because, I mean, the whole gangster thing and the rap...
Only built for Cuban links that's Raekwon. Raekwon made mafioso hip hop.
Right.
I fucking love mafioso hip hop. Only built for Cuban links is a fucking top tier album.
Okay.
And that's all about, like, we're gangsters.
Yeah.
We're specifically Italian gangsters. I fucking love that shit. It's good. It's nice.
Okay. So do you think that like the idea of the gangster film has crept into our culture
100%.
and into identity, like, you know, particularly men? I think personally, when I think of like what it is to be a man,
Well, here's the thing.
or
I'm gonna
hard. If
do
you're hard, you might be a gangster.
I'm gonna do an impersonation, right?
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm doing. It's
Yeah.
You come to the Madonna's wedding.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And it's you learn that through osmosis. You don't have to watch
That's a good
The
point.
Godfather
I like that
to
point.
know about
Osmosis.
The Godfather. There is there are so much stuff about like Italian like mafia stuff that you don't have to watch it to know all about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows about the mafia. Everyone.
It's kind of like
And it's just something you pick up because of pop culture.
yeah, I really like Boardwalk Empire. Just gotta
Boardwalk
mention
Empire
that.
is a great show.
I liked up for me. It was the end of season 3 was the pinnacle. You know the guy with the one eye, the half
Yeah.
face. When he fucking takes everyone out and looks after that little girl, like gets her out the fucking
Yeah.
brothel. That was like it went. I think it went really downhill for me after then. But I loved that character. I loved his. You know, he had the. You know, he was a proper war hero.
He was a World War I veteran, yeah.
And he had the voice. He sounded like that guy from South Park. And like he had that, but he had it. He was like such an interesting, damaged character, but you knew he could fucking fuck everyone up. And when he actually does fuck everyone up, and you're like, this guy's a legend. Like he had a heart of gold, and he takes it like, oh, that was some shit for me. That was like emotional. That was very emotional.
Yeah.
Trying to think of a gangster shit, mate, but I think we've covered it. The reason why gangsters are cool, because gangsters are cool,
man.
They're just cool. Yeah, pretty much.
It's just like, is anyone going like, hey, Law, fuck you? I'm going to be like, yeah, you're pretty cool.
Yeah. Like they're not going to make a non-gangster film where it's about like Ned Flanders just posting his fucking tax returns on time,
anti-establishment,
doing his admin and hoovering the house. Like,
well, I think it's like the vast majority
fuck
of
bitches
people
and get money. That's what we want to hear and see.
Well, the vast majority of people are we follow the law to a certain degree.
If you say so.
And there's something about someone who's just willing to be like, nah, fuck this. Where it's like, that's cool, that's interesting. You're willing to do what I'm not willing to do.
Yeah.
There is a bravery towards it being like, nah,
it's a good
fuck
point.
this.
Yeah. There's a certain like level of, I don't know if bravery is the right word. I think you have to be brave and bold, but you also have to. I don't know. Yeah. There's the perfect mixture because crazy people just go crazy and then they either kill themselves or others and end up in a cycle.
No one thinks Ted Bundy's cool.
I
mean, they do, but with their weird.
They did.
But they're weird, and everyone agrees they're weird.
Maybe we're all fucking weird. Maybe the perfect mixture of what it is to be together enough to organise yourself in a criminal way, but crazy enough to do all the criminal shit and get away with it, but not crazy enough to do all the logistical shit, you know, the admin people, and they're nice enough to be dealing with people, and you're not a complete psycho where you're just going to bite someone's face off. Like, there's a lot there. You have to be capable of a lot of social factors, but also extreme violence, and then also an organisational ability, but also like this innovation where you're going to work out the way to get around something. And that's what I like about gangsters as well, is that gangsters took the sort of die hard like innovation of World War II and took it to the next level. Do you know what I mean? Like there's stuff in Goodfellas and Blow and stuff about the wiretapping and things like that, and like the innovation of some of the mafia is really quite interesting. Like I like that kind of like their ability. You know, this is the heart of Operation Odessa and the real life gangsters. You know, they've watched all these films their entire lives and careers, and then like you're talking, they load 4 fucking military helicopters into a military plane and fly them from Russia to Colombia, and literally these helicopters could do things that no other helicopter of the time could do. They could carry like 2 tons and fly them for like 200 miles. Like they had such an operational capability. And when you consider, like, that's what I love, is like this documentary and these gangsters fully understood all of that. And when you do, and you go, okay, so we're just going to buy Like, we're gonna
Yeah.
buy, instead of trying to do it in a small, like, sneaky way. Instead of being sneaky, what you do is go, no, right. So in the legit world, and there's another great bit where they talk about these speedboats. So these speedboats had to go so fast, but also have an operational ability to like go for like 100 miles. So you're talking having a speedboat that would usually be fucking like, you'd have a laugh of it for half an hour and then you've got to come back to the bay. They want that level of speed,
Yeah.
but with that level of, so like they pushed technology because of what they're trying to achieve. They're getting 80% of the cocaine into actual America. So therefore, if you're operating on that level, like, that's what you got to do. And once you accept it, and if you're a coke dealer who's probably doing quite a bit of coke, it probably like that idea of the normal person's consideration of something, going, but what about my family? What about this? Like, what about that? No, you're there to get the fucking job done, and you fucking go all out, and you go to crazy limit. Like, it's only the people that can think of those solutions that can think of like, nobody's ever done this. And I love nobody's ever done this. I fucking love it. Like, I am in love with the idea of nobody has ever done
Well,
it. I want to be that sort of person. I just don't want to get arrested for it.
People don't want to watch someone just, do what they're supposed to do. People
don't like being average. You want to be over the top, outrageous, excessive, like the complete fucking absolute. The absolute of what it is to fucking go and do something and stick the fucking middle fingers up to probably the biggest, military industrial complex ever made in the US fucking police and army, is like, imagine going up against them and beating them at their own game. Imagine buying those fucking helicopters and flying over the fucking US Coast Guard and landing it in wherever and being like, yeah, we've just delivered 2 tons of gear. Like,
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's not cool unless you think it's cool. So, Gangsters, pretty cool, aren't they, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think everyone likes them.
Apart from when they are after
It's your
you.
friendly neighbourhood gangster.
Yeah.
Friendly neighbourhood gangster.
Favourite gangster of all time, real life or not?
Bugsy Malone. He attacked kids with pies.
Water pistols and that.
And pies. It was all pies. It was Creed pies, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I've seen it done with water pistols for some reason. I don't know. I went to a play. It was a bit strange. Yeah. Super Soaker, Bugsy Malone.
Yeah, wasn't Bugsy Malone also like a guy who killed people and then been like, well, let's make it a kids film with like pies.
Bit moody.
Yeah.
Well.
And I think it's Lucky Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a cool guy. But again, I'm just doing this from like things I've watched.
Things that Nick can remember in his little memory banks. Yeah. Alright.
I say Lucky Malone, like Bugsy Malone. It's like the guy, the other guy from Boardwalk Empire. There's 2 like gangster guys who work for the New York guy.
You're gonna no.
Lucky. His name's Lucky. I can't remember.
Yes. I'm not gonna try and think of it right now because I'm gonna do a snappy like that was gangster films. Any other gangster points you want to bring up, Nick?
No.
You're the OG of this podcast, apart from me. So thank you very much,
and the
mate.
EG of these podcasts. When it's over like, and also
early gangster. Or...
No, it's like, and this is here.
What's the E stand for?
I think it's Latin.
EG.
Yeah, EG. You know the term EG?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also Nick, and I'm like, that's me.
All right. You're never an afterthought, mate. You're an equal partner.
I rely on you. I like being an
Well, fine. Afterthought, Nick. Thank you very much, motherfucking gangster. There was gangster films. And gangsters in general. I like gangsters. I don't know. Also, Google Pimp by Iceberg Slim. Iceberg Slim is cool. He was a pimp. Pimps is a thing. That's weird.
Yeah. Sex trade is very...
Well, it's the oldest
profession
in human history, isn't it?
Yeah.
So gangsters, I reckon pimps have been around probably longer than like bankers or
100%.
Optometrists.
Maybe not optometrists.
When was the last time you had your eyes checked, Nick?
I don't think I've ever had my eyes
checked. You've
not
had your eyes checked ever? You taking the piss?
No.
I went 3 times during the last World Cup because I was seeing all those floaty things. You know, when you get the float thing in your eye.
No.
Family Guy does a bit about it. It's just stupid. And so I had these floaty things in my eye. and I was like, what? And the World Cup was on, and went to the opticians 3 times in 2 weeks. Every single time they said, you've got better than 20/20 vision, right?
Yeah.
So 20/20 vision is a certain measure up until like the second or third rung of the number of the letters.
20/20 vision's healthy vision.
And I
It's
can
like, yeah,
do
you're
and
decent.
I can do more than that. So I've got perfect vision, right? There's nothing wrong with it. Turns out I was just fucking battered for getting pissed all day watching the World Cup. So there you go.
Yeah.
Don't do it, kids. The reason why I asked you about your eyesight was because I am a fucking OG. This has been the Final Cut Half Cup with the fucking OG, Jason Winner, and
I'm Nick. Thank you for having me.
Nick. He's an EG. Yeah. Peace.